Welcome to the Adventures of Slimblu.
Alright, so our first level, we have a forest, and the first enemy we come across is a tree who takes 5 hits to kill. He moves very slowly. And then once we come across these blocks over here, we see some ghosts, which are faster than flies. And then we come across a big tree, which has a little maze to go through. And we pick up this life up over here. And another life up over here. And once we come down the tree, we see a ghost over here. And at the bottom there's a wolf meeting us, who is faster and deals 2 damage per hit. And then we come across this dune over here, more ghosts and wolves, and a tree. And once we go over these blocks here, there's a smaller tree and a wolf over there. More wolves, more ghosts, more trees. And there's some life ups down there if you want to jump that way, or if you want to come across the top over here. There's more life ups over here. And we're nearing the end where we see a couple more ghosts. And down there we see a rift portal which takes us to the next level. And just like that, level complete.
The next level in the game is the swamp level. Now the first enemy you'll see is a rat, which Jeff just killed. It moves slightly faster than a grub and only has 1 health. It takes down easily. After the 2 rats and a couple of stars which do nothing, you fight a tree, as you saw in the last level. There's a pier with a couple stars. You can jump over some rats. And then there's this crow enemy which will consistently drop rocks. It has 1 health, but it's definitely very hard to get to it. It's better to just avoid the rocks and carry on. The rocks themselves do 1 damage and consistently respawn. This enemy here is Seagull, which has 2 health, and if you stop on it once, it'll chase after you, as you just saw. So next up in this section of the level, we have a pier with a balloon that will spawn if you move a little closer. This part will require you to jump on the balloon while avoiding crows that will consistently drop rocks. Over here is a little area where you can pick up some health to replenish yourself, but there's also a crow dropping rocks. When you get to the end, there's a wolf and a rat that needs to be defeated quite easily. After passing a tree, there's a platform with a green power-up. This power-up will allow you to throw Spikeballs at your enemies, being able to dispatch them at a safe distance. Over here, you have 2 possible paths to take. The one below is a tunnel which consists of rats, stars, and apples. The above part is a maze that you'll have to traverse while crows are dropping rocks. The tunnel is safer, but it is harder to get to. So if you're an impatient person, then it'd be best to just take the crow path. But that is very tricky, as you'll have to platform through narrow corridors while avoiding rocks. There's also a rat up there to mess up your day. Once you jump over that, there's a tree, a wolf, and another crow. Another seagull. Both messes you up. 2 more to be exact. A rat, and then a crow will drop rocks onto the portal. If you time it right, you should be able to get into the portal and move on to the next level.
So in this level, you've got Healy Grub there on the ground. If you jump on the Healy Grub once, it gets ready. If you jump on it again, it will give you an apple, and after it gives you an apple, it heals 1. If you wait, and you can keep doing that and keep farming apples. There's also a Spikeball there that goes back and forth and deals damage. It deals 1 damage anytime it hits you. And then further along, we've got a Fireball down. So on the left here, we have a Fireball that deals 1 damage if it hits you and bounces along the ground. Guarding some apples here. And also we had baby flies, which grew up into those adult flies below you. The baby flies deal no damage, and you can't you just fall through them to kill them. But they don't. But they grow up into normal flies, which do damage. And then there's bats there that are kind of like flies, except they do 2 health. The gray flies you may have seen in the corner back there were the baby flies that grow up. And this is a little health thing. If you're smart, you can get full health from these, but sometimes you just accidentally kill the grubs. So here are sprite blocks which you can travel through. They don't have hitboxes, but they are still blocks. Don't know what happened to those bats because they should have taken 1 more damage. Then there's the random fly that's just basic in the game. And the fireball, which appears to now be guarding the exit.
The next level is the sewer level. You'll be first greeted with a seagull and a bat. After that, you'll come across a platform with some stars, and then an apple, which you can collect to replenish your health should you take damage from the previous enemies. The enemies in this level consists of mainly bats, seagulls, and rats, although there is a fly in here. After jumping across some platforms, you see a trail of stars heading across a gap. You jump onto the blue platform and you'll see a red balloon. You can choose to bounce on it, and should you survive long enough, avoiding all the bats coming your way, there'll be a little gap that you can go into, in which, after getting hit by a bat, you'll be able to collect a power-up that lets you shoot Spikeballs. What you'll need to do from here is wait for the balloon to spawn back. You can then use that balloon to ride back to the main level. From there, you can jump onto the various platforms, which, if you haven't rode the balloon, will have some enemies. You then go down these stairs and see a bunch of apples and stars to collect to prepare for the boss battle against the Great King Rat. He'll spawn in a couple of rats, and during this time, he is immortal. You'll need to dispatch the smaller rats before taking care of their king. You then hit him, and he'll spawn more rats with each hit. He'll also occasionally spawn in a seagull, so just to spice things up. With each hit, he'll move faster, so you might want to stay on your toes. Also, any rats that are with him are immortal, so you need to wait for him to run past them before you can kill him. There's also apples and stars to replenish your health should you take some serious damage, which is very likely considering this is a very tricky boss fight. Fortunately, the Great King Rat himself will not damage you while he's immortal.
Our first castle level with a little Cheeto dude running after you. It takes 1 damage to kill him, or 1 hit, and he takes 1 damage to the player. We have a couple baby flies and Healy Grub. And with, I think, the random fly. And then we have a little cove with some life ups. And another balloon. And a homing fly. And then we have our bats, which take 2 hits to kill, and they take 1 damage to the player. And then once you get to this point, you have to traverse to the end of the map using the balloon while avoiding the bats and the Spikeball. And then you can go up top and get stars if you want, and then you can just jump back down. And you can make it from that stone right there to the rift and level complete.
All right, here we got what's in pretty standard dungeon. Basically, there are these guys who they're called Cheetos, but they're based off of enemies that I called Forgotten Souls, or I didn't call them, but they're from this game I play. And basically, they're like monkeys, just super aggressive, and they'll jump and they'll like charge up to you. And these other guys are what are known as ice spheres. So they're extended from the homing fly, but they actually have super fast like horizontal speed, and they also they're made so that they track you from like the beginning of spawn, because most enemies are like asleep until you're in range, but the ice spheres will actually like track you from like the ends of the map. So especially like later on, you'll see that they can become a huge problem because they will basically like cluster up and just like pack hunt you. Now you can go along. There's some stars. There's some power ups, health ups. You know, then you got like the classic platformers. You know, Jeff his life's on the edge as he's jumping from rock to rock. But here you have like a small like sub boss battle. This is a Lich, so he's like a stationary dude who just walks around the ground summoning ice spheres at a pretty slow rate. But if you aren't careful, you know, you'll get basically ganged up on by the ice spheres, and it can become a real problem. As you probably saw, the Lich has multiple hit points, so he's a pretty tough dude. And after you beat him, you can go in either of those 2 rifts to the next level. Now this is the Underworld. This is like the later, more hard version of like the dungeon. And basically here, the main feature is there's tons of summoner guys. So here we have a Lich who he's just summoning ice spheres, and like before, if you let the Liches get too many ice spheres down on the ground, it can pose to be a real problem. Now if you run low, there's a few like level ups and stars and stuff along the way just to like keep you floating, basically. But it's not that bad, honestly. There's a lot of gaps, and like there's a nice health up and stuff like that. But basically it's like you go from area to area, and there's just ice spheres and stuff that's all just hunting you, basically, is the whole concept. Now, as you can see, there's this weird Thanos-looking face in the middle of... Yeah, that wasn't Thanos, but my group members are telling me that it looked like him. But yeah, so again, there's more of a dude that you can like just wail on. And when you enter this next area, you're actually going to enter a boss fight. So alright, and here we have like the boss room area. There's actually kind of like 2 bosses here, but one you've seen before. It's the Lich. You know, he's just here. He's walking towards you slowly, and he's spawning ice spheres. But then, if you continue further into the depths of the room, you run into the Forgotten King, who he flies. He bro, he waves his arm like a bird, and he's just flapping his wings, and he's just charging you slowly as he spawns Cheetos again and again and again, just relentlessly wailing on you. And he has like I think like 13 health, so he's actually kind of spooky, honestly. But you just, as we can see, Jeff is a master at this game. So he's with expert precision, he has defeated the boss.
And then we go on to the last level where you're exiting the Underworld and leaving the map, and the caves have kind of collapsed, and you go along. Nothing new this map until we get to the end where there's a new boss. There's some rats and some baby flies there. You can't get in there because it's collapsed. And the bats apparently don't like the ground. But if you go on, there's a secret tunnel to get up there. And oh wait, no, go back. Back to the beginning because you forgot the teleport power up. Because there's a single-use teleport power up back here, and if you go up here, and there's a single use, and that's the power up. Collect the power up, go up, and then fire it just down this hallway using the K. Same as the attack power up, and that teleports you to where the power up is. And if you jump to the left, you can get into a secret path, the tunnel, and go along the secret tunnel, and you can see the Rat King. There's a new Rat King in the thing. Your efforts were foiled because there's always another Rat King the Great and Powerful, and then escape. But you find that there's now a tank waiting for you. A tank that fires the cannonballs. You've just got to go and take the damage as you jump on them.
Oh my god!
You have to take the damage. There's no way past them without taking the damage. You kind of need to actually just get there and hit him.
Come on, Jeff.
He's got like 8 health or 7 health, and it's exactly the same as the normal tank, except this is a special tank. Welcome to the dev room. This is where all the portals to different levels are, and there's also an A through Z list of the enemies at the end. Here's the teleport power up, which you can pick up, and attack power up, and apple, and music note that teleports you further along. Healy Grub, if you hit it on a head, it will do nothing, but the second time it will eventually heal and drop a heart and drop an apple, and keep doing that. And you can get it. Just normal fly. Monkey. And this is the tank that shoots out cannonballs every, I don't remember how many times a second, but there's a lot, and it's slightly randomized. That damage you. Random fly.
That will track you.
Actually, I think that's sinusoidal fly. This is tracking. Oh wait, no, that's just fly. There's a lot of flies that we didn't mess with. In bloom. This is my baby fly that eventually grows up into a tracking fly. It takes 10 seconds, I think, to happen, so it's not very fast. But I like it. And then my fireball, it bounces along the ground and does 1 damage if it hits you, and it's immortal. Whose is that?
That is my bat. That was it kind of took from homing fly and traces the player and gets to kill.
Okay, so here's the wolf. It moves rather quickly and it does 2 damage per hit.
This is Sprite Block. You can pass through it, and it's immortal. It doesn't really interact with you at all. Just good for hiding things. Star, just because it was already star.
Yep, and then the Spikeball that I implemented. It is immortal and hurts the player. You can't kill it.
This is the rat that I came up with. It has 1 health and moves slightly faster than a grub. This enemy is Seagull that I came up with. It has 2 health and will bounce along the ground. Should you hit it once, it'll start tracking the player.
This is a ghost, which is similar to the fly. It flies around, but it's just got more speed. This is the tree, which moves rather really slowly, and it has 5 HP.
This is a crow that will continually drop rocks. The crow has only 1 health, and the rocks do 1 damage. This is the Great King Rat, which has 9 health and will continually spawn in rats. The less health it has, the more rats it will spawn, and the faster it will move.
This is the Cheeto, also known as like the Forgotten Soul. He's just a super fat, jumps a lot more frequently.
Cut out.
Yeah, you cut out, man.
Oh, I did. Excuse me. This is the Cheeto. He's just like a super aggressive monkey. He jumps a lot faster, and he also is a lot faster. So, did I cut out that? Oh, okay. This is the Forgotten King. His whole deal is he's a
Oh, now you cut out
13.
again.
He has like 13 hit points. He's
cut out
he
earlier.
summoned. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. He just basically summons stuff. You may want to keep moving so he doesn't like glitch out. This is an ice sphere. It's a really super fast tracking thing that will like track you the minute you spawn in on a map. And then the next one is the Lich, who he's kind of like a ground version of the Forgotten King, where he has like multiple hit points, but he summons ice spheres instead. And he summons them slower than the Forgotten King summons the Cheetos.
Yep. And then we had the that little tele power up. Was that the attack one? Or,
No, that's teleport.
Okay, yeah.
And we should probably all say our names. I'm Alex Broggi, and
I'm Benjamin Calderon.
James Ristaino.
I'm
I
Jeff
can do-
Zeng.
And I'm Joseph Oliver.
thanks for watching your stuff.
Have a good day.